The Richard Denny Group attended the World Class Skills 2009 conference, which debated how the government's promised skills revolution can be achieved by the year 2020. Richard Denny stressed that while upskilling the workforce is vital, the qualities of managers also need to be enhanced, now more so than ever. Richard, in the conference today we heard a lot about upskilling the workforce, but to my ear not an enormous amount about upskilling management. Is this something we're leaving rather on the back burner?
Whether it's on the back burner or not, I don't know, but it's something that is so important. And it's a classic of the cobbler. As we all know, the cobbler's children have no shoes. But all of us who are in the world of training and educating others, we often neglect our own people. We're not developing their skills on how to be a leader, how to be a manager, and how to be a motivator. It's such an important area, particularly in this time where there are greater demands, where there's so much change, where they're under pressure, where there is expectation to get more from less. And this, of course, is our skill of going into councils and into the public sector to help their managers and their team leaders to do just that.
Also, it was noteworthy that the government pledged to deliver world-class skills by 2020, I think was policy largely formulated before the recession. Do you think perhaps that we're not responding quickly enough to the downturn?
We're doing the very best we can, and it is natural with any recession. You know, there is almost the sort of the rabbit caught in the headlights syndrome. What do we do, and where do we go, and can we foretell the future? Are we doing as much as we should? No, of course we're not. There's lots more we can do. I really believe that.
It was also noteworthy, I thought, that the word apprentice was used an awful lot, almost to the point of me thinking that policy over the last 15 to 20 years of getting youngsters into further education was being damned as a failure by kind of the subtext of it. Is that something that you sensed as well?
Yes, I did sense that, but I don't think that's true, and I don't think that was what was meant to come through. I think the whole feel and the theme and the opportunity of apprenticeships is marvellous. To a certain extent, that we're still missing the one ingredient that employers really want in today's world, and that is they want people with this thing called attitude, this positive approach. We're still not really concentrating on how to develop their ability to cope with life, how to manage themselves, how to manage their money, how to be positive, to understand that the customer pays the wages. There's a whole range of things that are so important that we need to really help our young people become employable and stay employable.
Also, I suppose it's true, isn't it, that young people are having to face a completely different world to the one that you and I grew up in, which is they have to confront flexibility, mobility, changing their career many times. How does a successful manager emerge from that? You know, when you're managing people who are flitting from one career to another, do you think?
Well, this is the world that we live in, and this comes back to, as you and I were both brought up, you get a good job and it's a job for life, and that is security. We all now know that no such thing exists. Security is only within ourselves. So how do we help young people to do that? Well, it again comes through from experiencing, by leading by example, by helping young people to be prepared that, you know, this first job or the second job is not a job for life. It's a step on their career. It's a rung on the ladder. None of us know what is going to happen in 5 or 10 years' time. None of us know what the demands are. There are massive opportunities in energy, in green development, in new products and services coming out all the time. So it is a culture that we live in. I truly believe our young people can cope with that. But I truly also believe that we're not preparing them right just with the structures and the current programs that are there. We're not preparing them to use, manage and help their brain to be able to cope with the pressures that they're really under.
If you take a manager, for example, working in modern Britain, why should he or she be bothered about the skills of other people when they're probably busy worrying about their own jobs themselves?
Well, what you had out of life you get back, and if they want to keep their job, it is very much how do they manage and how do they lead others. The great skill of the modern manager and leader is to really understand that their job is to grow other people, to help them achieve more. And a great quality of a good manager, a good leader, is that some of your people actually are promoted above you. It's a wonderful feeling, it's a wonderful experience. But if you try and hold it yourself, you're doomed. You're in trouble.
Sorry, a bit of a noise there, but I'll ask you a final question.
Okay.
My final question is that the paradox at the heart of today's debate, so it seemed to me, is that yes, it's vitally important that we improve the skills of the working population, and yet are we improving those skills in a world where jobs are rapidly disappearing, and are we training them up into a void?
Short term, yes, there is jobs being lost. There are new businesses starting right now. As you and I are chatting right now, there are probably 100 new companies started today. New opportunities. As we go into the future, there are going to be massive, massive, wonderful opportunities. There is so much to look forward to. We've got to work on that basis, prepare ourselves for the future, not live in the past, accept the reality. Yes, it is going to be a little bit tough now, but my goodness me, I'm so excited about